Welcome to the Raised with Jesus podcast, the audio home of Resurrection Lutheran Church, and 10 minutes every day where the life of Jesus meets yours. You've got your Sunday preview for December 30th, Christmas 1, looking at Luke chapter 2. The Gospel of Luke accounts for us as much detail as we have about the early life of Christ, from his birth at the manger and circumstances leading up to it, the visit of the shepherds, the song of the angels. Luke doesn't recount for us the visit of the Magi, but it probably happens between day 41 and probably about day 90 after birth. But Luke does recount for us both the purification and circumcision 8 days after birth, and then the purification and presentation of the temple 40 days after birth, when we have the account of Simeon and Anna. I think we talked about that when we kind of read through that part in our daily Bible reading about 2 weeks ago, would be my guess. And today, in our gospel lesson at church, we've got the first Sunday after Christmas, the boy Jesus at the temple. Because the season of Christmas is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the first Sunday after Christmas, which might be as soon as, 2 days after Christmas, depending on when Christmas happens to fall, if it's on like a Thursday that year. Sometimes the second Sunday after Christmas, and then Epiphany is the Sunday closest to January 6th. And sometimes we celebrate the baptism of Jesus and alternate. I think I've done that in the past, kind of depending on where Epiphany falls, where Christmas falls, celebrating the baptism of Jesus or celebrating the Epiphany. And then as far as minor festivals go, the festival of St. Stephen and the festival of what we call Holy Innocents, the children slaughtered by Herod's rage at not hearing back from the Magi, and the festival of St. John the Divine, all fall in those 2 or 3 days after December 25th. And all three of those, the festival of St. John the Divine is just a name for the festival of, in honor of John the Gospel writer, who also wrote the book of Revelation. And all three festivals kind of focus on the martyrdom and the pain that following Jesus would bring. Festival of Holy Innocents kind of focuses on the hatred of the world in their attempt to exterminate Christ. But otherwise, Festival of Stephen and John focus on the world's reaction to them and how they ended up suffering for the faith. But when we get to Christmas 1, the first Sunday after Christmas, we see especially the account from Luke chapter 2, the boy Jesus at the temple, Jesus at the temple courts. And what we really see primarily is that in the family of believers, it is our brother Jesus who changed the future for Abraham's descendants to be about the Father's will and sharing in our humanity and destroying the power of death. He went through everything that every person has ever experienced. He is fully human in every way, except without sin. And so we'll see in this reading that there's an emphasis on the two natures of Christ, his humanity and his divinity in one person. And these words from Luke reveal Jesus' growth in favor with God and with men. And also very clearly, Jesus always understood his purpose, and that was to carry out the Father's plan of salvation. Though he willingly obeyed Mary and Joseph, they had been the authorities God placed over him. More striking is his willing obedience to the Father's will. Luke 2, verses 41 to 52. Every year, Jesus' parents traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. When he was 12 years old, they went up according to the custom of the festival. When the days had ended, as they were returning, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Since they thought he was in their group, they went a day's journey. Then they began to look for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem, searching for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them, and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? See, your father and I have been anxiously looking for you." He said to them, "Why were you looking for me? Do you not know that I must be taking care of my father's business?" They did not understand what he was telling them. He went down with them and came to Nazareth. He was always obedient to them, and his mother treasured up all these things in her heart. Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and with people. This is the word of our God. We have worship 9 a.m. at 2250 South Holland, Sylvania Road in Maumee. You could also preview us a little bit at our website. Check out raisedwithjesus.com or raisedwithjesus.church. God bless your day.